smokes, the Holy Ghost been on my mind lately. Every hour that empowers me to grind lately. Otherwise, my peace of mind been hard to find lately. How are you? I'm fine, but that's been hard to define lately. Cry, baby, let it out and get the hell on. Ain't got no time to shed no tears, I'm trying to keep my head on. I got my 9 at all times, the shots be right by my home. Had some anxiety, but I am me, I loaded my chrome.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Original Minds, an Intrisio podcast. We're back again with another episode from our Artist Spotlight series. I am excited and happy to introduce to our platform and to the world, Mr. Adrian Peace. Mr. Adrian, say hello. How you doing today?
What's up, y'all? I'm doing great.
We're excited to have you. I just told you, but I'd like to repeat it again. Thank you for sitting down with us today. Thank you for taking the time, for allowing us to talk to you and get to know you.
Happy to be here.
So we're just going to jump right into it. Before you started, you helped and filled out a form for us, and I asked you in one word, why do you make music? And you said,
Truth.
Truth. So let's start there. I'd love to just start with that word. Why'd you choose that word? And what does that word mean to you? Maybe in just a few sentences.
So I feel like the most profound thing that I can do on this earth is to just tell my truth. To, not only tell my truth necessarily, but like the truth,
Yes,
and some things are objective, but I think some things are not. Subjective. Some things are subjective, some things are not. Yeah. And I think that artistry and music and, whatever it is that you're doing creatively or otherwise, I think the most important thing or reason to do it for is just to find truth and your own way of expressing it, whether that's, just being truthful in who you are or sharing some truth with other people.
Okay. I love that.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. So real quick, I just want to ask you, I know you like anime.
Do you have a favorite anime character?
Yeah, probably Ichigo, Bleach. I'm a Bleach guy.
Heck yeah. Okay.
Other than that, maybe like Lelouch, but I don't want that to be a red flag for anybody.
We just wanted to throw you. We saw that you feel that you loved anime, so we want to throw a little icebreaker at you and get into it, bro. Yeah, go take us into the studio.
Now getting to the studio. Me as an artist, I know that there's things that I need when I'm recording.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you need when you're recording, or is it like a feeling you need when you record?
I like to turn the lights down low, and just be like in my corner. I've tried recording in like big studios and stuff like that, and I just can't capture the right vibe.
Yeah.
And so every time I listen back, I'm like, man, it just don't sound right. I think it's something that you got to get used to, but I don't know if I can get used to it.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
There's a lot of famous people that, I've seen them say the same thing, that you dream of going into a big studio. Then once you get there, all you want to go do is go back to your bedroom and go back to recording.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of other minds. We say the same thing here. We try to be very careful of the people we have inside the studio when people are recording, because it affects the whole vibe. It affects the energy. And if you have someone who's not present or having any input on what's being created, why are you here?
Yeah, for sure.
And it can just derail you and distract you.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the studio, so do you record a lot by yourself?
Yeah, I do. Rarely have somebody else with me. Occasionally, like shout out to Zone. He's my producer. We produce and co-write a lot of things together. Occasionally he'll be there to mix for me and hit record for me and things like that. But for the most part, it's just me, myself, and I, which is how I prefer it, honestly. Especially singing, because I'm still, you might hit a note that's not necessarily kind to the ears, and
yes, sir.
I don't want to put nobody else through that.
So going back into your creative process and getting in the studio, you say you like to turn the lights down.
Yeah.
Do you have words already written before you come in? Do you like to start writing? Do you listen to beats first? What do you do to kind of get in the mood?
Yeah, typically the beat comes first. I say a word comes first, like a word or a vibe,
like a singular word
that we trying to capture, like something's like like all right, city, night, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right, it's like, all right, that's the vibe. We're gonna go like a nighttime type song, or come up with a title for the track first, and then try to let the vibe lead, and then the words start flowing.
Actually.
And I feel that because sometimes when I'm recording, if it's just the name of the beat, I go off of the name of the beat, and I'm like, let me see what I could put in between this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's really good when it comes to that. So how long you been making music for?
I want to say like 16 years. It sounds crazy, but you know, I'm a little. I feel like I'm an elder now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm Unc now, 31 years old. So
100%. Yeah.
So yeah. I think I've been making music since like 2016, or not 2016. For like 16 years. Started with my homie Andrew Ray, in our audio video production class. So we was just fooling around. We were supposed to be doing something completely different, and we was in there making mixtapes and stuff. So
Heck yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You said audio visual class. That's
Yeah.
how we met.
Okay.
That's how me and him became friends.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Quite literally. It's literally an audio video production class.
Yeah.
Well, going back to your music and the process, 16 years, that's a good amount of time. How long have you been taking it seriously? Has it been all 16 years? Or?
No, not at all. Probably 2014. I think 2015 was my first EP out, Eden EP. And after that, just like I did not expect for people to like rock with it the way they did, to the point that like even to today, like people are still like reaching out to me, or just when they see me, like, yo, I'm still listening to Cold Nights, bro. Like, and it pisses me off sometimes. Be like, yo, Cold Nights still your favorite, my favorite, your best track. Like, it's not, bro. But appreciate you. But yeah. So that's when I first, started taking it seriously and learning who I was as an artist after that. Heck
yeah. And so how would you describe your sound to someone who's never heard it before?
I have no idea. It's typically moody, dark. Like Zone got me to make a little happier music, but here and there. But for the most part, like that's not what moves me to get in the studio.
Yeah.
Like a happy vibe or happy feelings. A lot of times it's darker things or things that are just kind of plaguing me, or things that I'm thinking about that's going on in society, things like that. So it tends to be like introspective. I have a track I'm working on right now called Watch It Burn. It's like about getting into a relationship when you know that it's doomed to fail. And so it's kind of like, the exploring like masochism and sadism and like self-love and all of those different things. So those are kind of things that you will find in my music, I guess.
You're very thematic. I think from
absolutely.
the few songs I've heard, you're, I've told you already, but poetic. And you seem, like you said, the darker stuff. I can tell that you're tapping in because it's kind of like that internal conflict. There's a piece of you in both sides. And so you're writing about that expression from maybe negative and positive feelings that you feel inside of you.
Right.
I think that all of us, even though some of us may be judgmental, we all feel both ways. It's just a matter of what we express and actually what we let out.
Right.
There's a lot of things we all hold in and keep in. And so that, to me, was what I appreciated when I listened to the songs because you were definitely talking about, and I know you, in your song Immaculate, to me, I was hearing about a story of like a man maybe wrestling with his soul and trying to clean his life, it was kind of the idea of like in my head I was like, what does it take to get to heaven, and how do I live a good life, and how do I become a better person a little bit. And so I thought that spoke to me because that's a lot that I resonate with people's stories, with people's pain.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that's the best thing from a musician, is someone who's able to tap into those emotions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, that brings the dark side out sometimes as well, too, because it's scary. It's scary to look at that side of your brain, look at that side of your heart.
I think, that's why truth is so important to me. I think, it's like people go their whole lives without, like, facing the truth.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the antithesis to finding your purpose in life. And I think that's the sole reason that a lot of people feel purposeless or feel lost is, they just haven't faced that truth, or haven't tried enough things to find that thing that they, want to do or things like that. And it's just like, it's all about just being honest with yourself in the moment of like, what do I want to do? All right, why am I not doing that? So forth and so on.
A lot of people want to let the world choose for them.
Yeah, that part.
To go back to what you had said earlier about about your specific type of sound that you got, where it's kind of like moody and you're tapping into these emotional feelings. As somebody who hasn't found their sound, I feel like that can be a little bit of some like an undiscovered territory. So walk me through the first night whenever you finally decided, okay, this is my sound. Like, walk me through that moment when you finally realized this is who I am as an artist.
I think it's just, man, I think it's just who I am as a person, and it just like kind of bleeds out. Like I don't think I ever had a choice in it. Like, you know, Eden EP was like all YouTube beats, so it's just like me on YouTube, hella hours, like be like, all right, I like this beat could go on an album, you know, so forth and so on, and it just like came together kind of cohesively and ended up being like all dark, moody kind of vibes and stuff like that. And you know, I think I grew up listening to, you know, a little bit of everything, but was always drawn to like, or not just listening to, but watching as well, was always drawn to like darker gothic things, horror, all of that kind of stuff. And so like, I think all that stuff just kind of is what comes out of me, because it's just what's in me, you know what I mean? Right. And it's kind of what needs to be exercised in a sense, exorcised. So yeah, I think that's what it is. But I think there's value in being adaptable, right? So if I'm in the studio with Zone, we can make a dance track, you know what I mean? We could do that, but I'm still gonna find some kind of way to make it introspective, even if it's like, you know, happy-go-lucky song. I'll find some kind of way to add a layer to it to make it authentic.
You get that from Andre 3000 at all?
Probably a little
like,
bit.
He's definitely. I saw you mention him. He's the perfect person that takes dark lyrics, puts them in happy modes, and changes you. He'll completely be telling you something different than what it is he's saying,
like, hey,
the way you feel.
All of that.
So
for sure.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
I know he talked a little bit about Andre 3000, but I know you have more influences. Who are they?
Yeah, so like on the hip hop side, I would say the person that everybody, you know, for better or for worse, compares me to, Kendrick Lamar, Andre 3000, Mos Def, Tribe as well. I feel like those are people that I used to listen to when I used to skateboard. Just like I'd just be skating, listening to those on repeat, and I think that definitely influenced my style. And then on the R&B side, right now anyways, like Leon Thomas, Lucky Day, vibes, straight vibes. And then kind of older stuff that I grew up on was like Jodeci, Marvin Gaye, Al Green. So those are big influences as well.
What about anything left field? You got any other like?
Oh yeah.
Tell me something that's not R&B or hip hop. What do you got?
So the Black Keys is one of my favorite bands of all time.
That's my favorite band too.
Okay.
The Black Keys is Continue that.
Black Keys.
Yeah, we're huge Black Keys.
I love
Black Keys.
I see you got Fleetwood Mac, Jimi Hendrix on the wall. Those for sure. I listen to I'm listening to a lot of metal. I don't know why, but just like Make Them Suffer, Fit for a King, like Wage War, those kind of vibes right now. It's kind of been what I'm inspired by, but it's weird. Like I've been on a kind of like drum and bass kick as far as like adding those elements to my music, even though I'm not listening to like any of that type of stuff right now. But that's just kind of what I've been creating. So I go through phases of like it's kind of the opposites of like what I'm listening to is like I'll make the complete opposite.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
I definitely feel that.
You know, it's interesting that you say that though, because the sort of practice of being an artist and listening to all different types of genres and things like that, I feel like kind of sharpens your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of sharpens your music making ability because you're no longer constrained to just one singular type of music.
Yeah.
And taking in all these different types of notes and all these different types of song structures, I feel like can point you into a good direction for your specific type of artistry. And I'm just curious, I mean, do you feel the same way? I mean,
absolutely. Even listening to like classical music, I was listening to like Beethoven's Tempest Sonata and like being like, okay, it's like, you know, all right,
Yeah.
I wonder if I can make my flow like that. Or listening to
That's creative
like,
thinking.
you know, Miles Davis or something like that,
Yeah.
and just being like, how can I capture the feeling from Blue and Green, or,
Yeah.
you know, one of those tracks. I'm blanking right now, but how can I capture the feeling of that track in this R&B song that I'm doing, or you know, so forth and so on. So yeah, taking influence or you know, certain elements from, and I think hip hop especially has always been that. So I feel like it's just like in the spirit of hip hop to do that. And so
Yeah.
I be getting mad when some of the homies you know, don't know who certain artists are outside of like hip hop. Like, come on, man. You gotta, if you're gonna be hip hop, you gotta listen to everything else and take inspiration. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hip hop is one of the newest genres, and it was a culmination of everything else that came together. The way, like, we're talking about taking influences from other genres, I really like that because I started the opposite way, where hip hop was the last thing I got to.
Okay.
And so all of my influences come from everything else, but everyone that I've worked with, a lot of my best friends, we started making hip hop music, and so when I'm working with them, I would always come with a whole different side of things that I felt like would always be able to blend, and we were able to create something different and something new, because they have their hip hop side. I've got a more alternative. I've got an indie rock side. I've got a more 90s classic rock, and so being able to do that was kind of what gave me the idea, and getting into music and stuff too, is because expanding it, creating new genres, creating a new wave, doing different things that haven't been done before. I consistently say there's a genre that's going to take over that hasn't been made yet.
Right.
I'd love to be a part of that. I'd love to figure that out. Like, same thing. How can I blend blues? How can I blend hard rock? How can I blend prog rock? How can I blend an acoustic guitar and an old opera singer, and I'll put it all together and maybe add a little bluesgrass country rhythm underneath. So tons of ways to add styles and different things. It's just like a portrait, you know, it's just painting. It's just doing what you can, different types of strokes.
And I would even say, like he said, he didn't come from the hip hop side like I did.
Yeah.
Even when he introduced me to things I didn't know, that opened my music perspective to where I was like, all right, I can listen to this and I can listen to this. And now it's to the point where like I can listen to hip hop, but I'd rather listen to something else. And I think like that's the greatest thing, is like when you come together with a person that necessarily doesn't listen to what you listen to, it can open your mind to different things.
For sure. Absolutely. I find as honestly as I get older, like I listen to less and less hip hop. Like I said, I'm kind of unk now, but you know, I'm like, I don't understand what they doing, what these kids are doing these days. But like I found myself for a while falling out of love with hip hop and with music making in general, because like hip hop was so important to me, and to kind of fall out of love with that it's like falling out of love with a piece of yourself, or losing a piece of yourself, you know. So I think that's another reason, you know, being influenced by other things is important, because, you know, if it wasn't for those other things also being in me or being an interest, you know, I don't know if I'd be making music right now.
I want to sit with what you just said. You said that you fell out of love with, I mean, what happened there?
Yeah, so I think it all ties into, and this could get deep, but like, especially around 2020.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of things going on. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, like all of that stuff. I was heavily affected by all of that, and as somebody who comes from a background of like, I won't say I'm from the hood. I'm not.
Yeah.
But grew up around a lot of street people, and so you know, being outside is not new. So it's like when all of that stuff was going on, I'm like, all right, bro, we outside. You know what I mean? And I think to do that, and give so much of yourself to something, and then see so little in return, was kind of an amalgamation of that, and also seeing like nothing that I'm seeing come from my people is like healthy. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. So it was like being in conflict with like my love for my people and my culture and the things that I hate about my culture, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like we ignore the fact that a lot of that comes from hip hop.
Right.
Can you blame hip hop for everything? No. I think everything you hate about black culture was created by white culture. But I think that there's a lot of real conversations that need to be had
Absolutely.
between black men,
Absolutely.
between black men and women, and those conversations aren't being had as much. And so I was kind of like jaded in a sense of like,
Yeah.
like yo, I've been out here marching, I've been calling politicians, I've been doing all of this, and my neighbors is having shootouts next door. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? Killing each other. And so it was kind of like, it was just that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
like, man, I'm sick of all of this. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people feel that and go to an extreme of like, now I'm seeing you know, black men that I used to look up to and things like that go to an extreme and they this or that now, they MAGA now, they, you know, whatever. You know, I still love my people and always will, but I think there's certain conversations need to be had. You know what I mean? And so it was like, man, I don't know if I can keep giving to this. And so I took a step back internally, never externally, because I still had people asking me for features and things like that. So I'm still writing and I'm still
wow. Yeah.
still giving people stuff, but my heart's not in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else could tell that. I don't think so, because you know I'm him at this, with this pen. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir.
But at the same time, it was like, yeah, man, I don't want to be doing this.
And as a black man, I'm glad you speak on those things,
Yeah.
because there are conversations that we do need to have, and one day I hope we do have those conversations, not for the betterment of us, but the betterment of everybody else. And I just want to say thank you for what you did, standing up for what you believe in.
For
Because
sure.
I think that we need to do that as people. Stand up for
Absolutely.
what we believe in. So I want to say thank you.
For sure. Appreciate that.
I may be wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of the same way I see it is, it's kind of like dealing with trauma. I saw something to where it's like you said, the white culture created all the problems, and so it's that idea of it's not our fault that this started, but it's our responsibility now to be the change, to be
Right,
the
right.
difference. And so you can't just continue to blame the origination from it, because now what's happening now is this needs to be the change, and we're
Yeah,
not doing what
exactly.
it takes to need to be the change. And
Right,
so
right.
It's that conflict. Like I the same thing. Like I said, I've grown up with hard times, and so
Yeah.
for a long time I'm like, man, it's their fault. Well, by the time I'm 24, can't keep blaming the people that raised me. It's got to be me. I got to pick myself up.
Exactly. Right.
I got to do something different. To break traditions, you've got to break traditions. You got to change your ways.
Right.
So
That part.
interesting. Wonderful, man. So Sonny actually got it pulled up. I'd
Okay.
love to just play a few seconds of your song Immaculate,
Okay.
just so they can hear. And then I just want to talk about the song a little bit, okay?
sure.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, the Holy Ghost been on my mind lately. Every hour that empowers me to grind lately. Otherwise, my peace of mind been hard to find lately. How are you? I'm fine, but that's been hard to define lately. Cry, baby, let it out and get the hell on. Ain't got no time to shed no tears, I'm trying to keep my head on. I got my 9 at all times, the shots be right by my home. Had some anxiety, but I ain't me. I loaded my chrome and I caught that demon lacking. Sent her back and leave me alone. Back on my Mac and it's immaculate, the reason I'm on. In the future, I know it's bright. I got every right to be confident, confidential. My consciousness concentrate on accomplishments. Contemplate on humility, but too many of these be killing me. They ain't bout winning, ain't been through it, but they still trying to put a pin to it. I done been through it in a waste bin. I done gave up on trying to make friends. So you see with me who I got with me if you not with me.
So Adrian, going into that song Immaculate,
Yeah.
is there a line in there that speaks more to you than any other line? Is there something that a part of that song that you would like for people to take away from, maybe more than anything, or pay attention to, or maybe something people miss?
Man, I might have to look at my lyrics. I'm trash at remembering my lyrics.
Maybe even the story. Like I said,
But
it doesn't
no.
have to be a specific line, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could be willing to tell us where you came from in making that song, and what was your idea of
Yeah.
it?
So, I remember Zone played the beat or like we said in the studio and made the beat together.
Yeah.
It's funny, like some of the best projects I feel like come together like the quickest and like
Yeah,
effortlessly.
absolutely. 100%.
Versus like you sit there trying to work on a track for a month and it's like it's cool. But Yeah, that one came together really quick, and even writing it. So after that, we was like, man, because it was like I said, like Zone's he makes more like kind of lovey music, typically like Drake type stuff, especially when I first met him. So like I had to kind of push him to make more darker type stuff.
Yeah.
So that was one of the, at the time especially, one of the fewer like kind of dark, gritty tracks that we had made.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, yeah, we definitely gotta shoot a video to this one. And a lot of times when I write, I'm just like, I don't know, like in flow, and I think that's why I don't remember a lot of my lyrics either, because I don't really perform, especially right now. So it's like we all right, record that, on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so I put that down, and I feel like a lot of where I was going with that, a lot of tracks, I don't know what they mean until I listened back to them. So I'm like, it's like almost like I didn't even write it, you know. So now, or back then, listening to that song, planning the video is when it kind of started to take shape, and I started to realize that, like, all right, it is about duality and about death and life after, and also about life here and dying internally, dying to yourself, and becoming something new. It's like I've been up for days, I've been asleep for weeks. There's a duality throughout the whole track, which is why there's we wanted to do the black and white thing, and
Okay. Yeah.
just sort of like just everything be a portrayal of duality and the truth that is found in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the video a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. The song was excellent as well. You keep mentioning your friend The Zone, right?
Yeah. Zone.
How long have you known him? How long
So
have you been working
we
with him?
met. Young Bake introduced me to him. Shout out to Bake. He's an artist with Rebellious Society. He introduced me to Zone. They went to Tech together, Texas Tech, and they got back, I think, like 2018. And so I think that's when we met. A little bit after that, we were trying to get together, link up for months, maybe even years, and then finally we linked up, and like the first day we met was like, it wasn't even no introduction. It was just like, yo, what's good? All right, I got this beat right here. And so we just started making music, and man, we was locked in for probably 2-3 times a week, for like 2 years straight.
Okay.
Just making three tracks every time we linked. So,
Heck
we
yeah.
very quickly accumulated a bank of songs. So like we got hundreds in there.
What does music give you that regular life doesn't?
That's a deep question. I like that. It's like a whole other world. Like, you get to world build. I feel like,
Yeah.
that's how I think about it. Regular life can be boring. It could be stale. It could be one thing after another that's just like, mundane, or just something that you want to get away from. And yeah, so like music is that escape, but also like also like a tool to deal with what reality is. So as much as it can be an escape, it can also be like a tool to stay planted and stay
Absolutely,
grounded.
yeah.
So I think, that's what
Interesting
I
way
love
to
about
look at
music
it.
for sure. Yeah.
What drove you to music over anything else? Did you have other creative passions at all? Or did you have any other careers maybe you were leaning towards? And then what
Shout out
brought you back to the art?
Shout out to my moms,
Yeah.
So she's a singer songwriter,
Okay.
and her father as well. So I grew up in the church singing, and
Gotcha.
used to go to church, from church to church, not of my own free will, just singing and stuff like that. So I think that's why probably I don't like perform it as much anymore, but kind of probably got burnt out on it. But yeah, so I think music was always a part of my life in one way or another. And then on my dad's side, he used to dance back in the day, and was like just had a love for music. So I still have all his records and things like that he left. So going through all of his records, or just being we used to have this 1966 Cadillac sedan DeVille, all white and stuff like that. We used to ride through the hood and blast Al Green, or
Heck yeah.
Whatever the classics were, that we had playing. And so it was a vibe, man. And so I think that's where that love for music got baked into me from a young age, and I don't think it was anything else I ever could do.
Gotcha.
I did 2 semesters at UNT, and decided that I was going to take a break to do music more seriously at the time, and ended up never going back. But so yeah, it's just, I don't think it was any other path for me.
Gotcha. So what keeps you pushing now? You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
When, the noise settles down, and then maybe you're not getting any recognition, or maybe you feel like, the means isn't justifying the end.
Mm-hmm.
How do you push through that? How do you keep going? Or is it, like you said, is it just ingrained in you and it's just you? Is it just something you do? Is it?
I think it's the latter, honestly. I feel like I've honestly tried to, like, nail down what it is like, because you want to be able to, like, explain to people, I guess, your why and, like, what your purpose is and things like that. And I think I've been at it for so long that, like, it is just muscle memory at this point. Right. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't even know what I'm still doing it for. Like, but it's just like I don't think about doing anything else.
Yeah.
It's just what I love to do, but also, like, what I'm compelled to do, and not necessarily just music. I think I could go without making music. I could never make another song again and be fine. I think just creating.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
that aspect. Yeah.
I'm, whether I'm doing it on the side with my business, what I do for a living, which is Revolution Media, being a cinematographer or a videographer, photographer, or doing brand strategy. It's all like a way of, I guess, flexing, working that creative muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's different ways that you can get fulfillment,
Yeah. It's part of your purpose.
Yeah.
Part of the journey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the same way in regards to I wake up every day and I feel like I have meaning. And there is meaning, obviously, in normal life. And I don't mean to say that in a way. Obviously, I've got meaning in my family and my friends and the people I love and everything.
Right.
Like, having a desire, waking up every day with a goal in mind, waking up every day with something I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Music has always been that for me, and it's always given that to me. And when I didn't have that, I'm sure Big B can say the same thing. I started wandering. I started losing myself. I didn't know what I was doing. I got very directionless. And, maybe I could have applied myself in other aspects in other areas, but at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't until I got back to it that I was like, oh, wow, I'm starting to get everything in my life back together.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I was scared to try to go back into something that wasn't promised. But then the second I did, I was like, okay, no, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the satisfaction. It doesn't matter the recognition. It doesn't matter what anybody says. I don't have to defend what it is I love to do.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to defend what you love to do.
No.
For
If
sure.
it makes you happy, just do it.
Exactly.
And, handle your business, handle your life, do what you can, control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, at the end of the day, I used to struggle telling people,
Yeah.
this is what I do. But no, it's
Uh-huh.
you're a true artist. You know what it is. You know what you love. And creation, more than anything, I think we were all designed to create. So I'll say that.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. For sure.
there's a thing, and then we were talking about it earlier where you said we were talking how the world chooses. A lot of people let the world choose their destinations. I've mentioned it before, but a lot of people just end up managing life. Once you stop creating your life, you just start managing your life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And so
real.
when you're not creating and you're not doing anything, you're managing. And so that's why you're living your life stressed, depressed, hurting, and pain, is because think about it in real life. I've never met a manager who wasn't stressed.
For
So,
real.
Right.
Yeah.
But creators, people who are designing things, it's more expressive. It's more.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to understand still the negative side effects, but
Yeah.
then you're building on top of that.
Right.
Right.
So
That's real.
heck yeah.
As
So-
somebody
Go
who would be listening from the audience, I kind of did want to talk about that sort of, like you guys said, sort of finding yourself
Mhm.
in the music, sort of finding that purpose. And as somebody who doesn't make music, that can be something that is very, jarring. So
Mm-hmm.
all I gotta say, pretty much all I'm asking you is, what is it about getting back to music that's kind of always draws you back? Because I noticed that you have also that you said that you took a little bit of a break. I know that we also have taken a little bit of a break. That
Yeah.
seems to be the common thing between artists. That anybody that we interview is that there always is some sort of gap in their resume, quote unquote.
Right.
So, what exactly was it that called you back?
I think there's just certain ebbs and flows of life where, one day I wake up and I want to start skateboarding again.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, like recently I'm really into fashion. I think it's something about like the spirit of a creative person that is just kind of like nomadic, if you will. And so I think sometimes like music is home, and sometimes whether music is home, whether that's because it's where I started or it's just like the thing that comes, I guess, most naturally. But sometimes I'm so engulfed in like filmmaking and wanting to be a better cinematographer, or wanting to be able to like style myself better, or be, so it's like I'm immersed in the world of fashion and design and stuff like that I completely forget about music. And then, but it's like no matter where I go, I'm in Colorado one day, climbing the Rockies, whatever. But I'm always come back home. I think that's
All
what it
roads lead
is.
to Rome.
Yeah. So I think that's all it is.
I like that you said it. It leads back to home, because I feel like that's how it came to us. Is like, even though we had that time taken off, it still led us back to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And so, I would say I think the downtime I had, because it showed me like who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, besides the music, who are you as a person?
Yeah.
So that's where I really took time in becoming a better person.
Mm-hmm.
So I can become a better musician. And
Absolutely.
so I think like artists, if you do have a downtime, take that time,
Mm-hmm.
discover yourself, find out new passions. So I really like you said that it leads you back to home.
Big facts. And there's a lot of artists that don't do that, and it shows. A lot of big artists. I won't say no names, but there's a lot of artists who that's my biggest critique of them. Was like yo, you dropping an album every year and it don't sound no different.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking no time to grow and figure out who you are now. Who are you now that you have the money? Who are you now that you have a child? Who are you now that you have, that you're not with the same girl that you was with? You know what I mean? So it's like that's huge.
Your stories change. You shouldn't be telling the same story at 40 that you were telling at 24.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the same thing, my bad intro, but I mean, even people who still try to stay with a younger generation, it's like, learn where your life is taking you, which is, you don't need to talk about younger topics, ignorant topics still. I mean, grow with what it is that you're going with.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we need that, because like if we get an artist like when we're young, still talking about the same things when we're young, and we're 26 and 27, we're not gonna listen to them. We need somebody we can grow with, like a J. Cole. J. Cole helped us grow.
Yeah.
And so I like you said.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to what you said earlier about how there are artists that they fall off over time because they don't go back to home, like you said. And one thing that I have noticed is that as soon as you said that, it kind of clicked into me. I could immediately think of a bunch of artists where it's like they started out really, really strong, and they started out great, and then as their career went on, it's almost like, in a sense, they forgot themselves.
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
just started making music for the digits, for the money, and they forgot the original why they were making music. And yeah, I just thought that was really insightful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
People start to get too many heads in the room as well, like we were mentioning earlier.
Yeah,
It starts to not even become them. It's they
Right.
got a whole team telling them, no, this is what you need to say. This is what you need to make.
And
And it's probably not even them listening to the wrong. It's them listening to the wrong voice instead of the right voice.
yeah, and
The
a
guy
lot
that's
of
been there with you for years. You're listening to the wrong guy. The other guys in the room been
Right.
there for a month. He doesn't know how you sound.
yeah, and a lot of the listeners don't know that, and so they listening to that stuff thinking that's who you are, and you listening to somebody else, it's not even you, and so like it's real. That's a real thing.
Even going back to I think like we were saying earlier with like, when you fell out of love with hip hop and saying one thing and not the other, I think that kind of circle back in the same thing. If you're not changing what you're talking about, if you're not changing your story as you grow up, the same thing. If these people are growing up and they see you as an inspiration, and maybe you continue to just say ignorant stuff, you don't continue to improve the message you're preaching,
Yeah.
you now have a whole culture following the wrong message, believing the wrong thing.
Right. I think too, like, if you can't do that or don't do that, like, I'm gonna just think you're not good. Like, I'm gonna just be like, oh, you're not rapping about nothing else because you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at Pusha T or Clips, like they still rapping about coke, but it sound different at this age than it did when grinding came out. So I think I can rap about. If I wanted to, I could just rap about relationships my entire music career. But I'm gonna find different ways to do it that are authentic to where I am in the moment, or maybe I learned something about my first relationship. You know what I mean? That like now that I'm 31, looking back at 18-year-old me, 16-year-old me. Now I realize something different, and now I can put that in a record, and so like even though I already rapped about Shorty, like now I can
You're
do
seeing
it
a
from a
complete
different
different way,
from a
perspective.
different perspective.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. That takes reflection, though. That takes being able to turn the
Exactly.
mirror back on yourself and taking a dip back in the past. Some people don't want to do that.
Face that truth.
Yeah, face that truth. Yeah. Let's see, Sonny, you had some questions maybe you wanted to get into. From what I hear, you had something prepared to talk about.
Actually, I did. So, we essentially, we like to get sort of a lot of opinions about different things, especially about art. I feel like it's very important as an artist to have strong feelings about specific types of media. And I noticed earlier that you said that you'd probably give the W to Goku.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just gotta ask, to a lot of people, and everything that I hear about those types of about that type of media is that, this dude is the strongest out there.
Absolutely.
So, but I just gotta tell you, there are a lot of other. Are you familiar with Jujutsu Kaisen?
Oh yeah.
What's he doing against Gojo?
Okay. All right.
That's always my thing that
Okay.
I say every single time. I'm like, everybody's like, "Oh, Goku's the best. He's goated." But like, no. Like, let's talk about Infinity for a second. Let's talk
Dang.
about that for a moment.
Dang. Okay.
Flip the script on you.
You might be right. There's gonna be somebody in the comments to say we tripping, but nah. I think I'm with you on that. Like,
You think
he's the goat. I mean, yeah, Infinity. I don't know, man.
Because that's what I'm saying. Because the whole thing about Infinity, to everybody who doesn't know about there, so essentially this guy Gojo has like a force field around him where like you move exponentially slower the closer that you get to him, to eventually slow down to like a complete crawl. But like that's the thing about Goku, is that he's super ridiculously fast. So it's
He
like,
is.
what are we supposed to?
Yeah,
like,
Ultra
how do you
Instinct
counter
against
that?
that? How do you move the
counter
two?
it?
Exactly.
What's the-
But I feel like even if Goku like spirit bombed the Earth and like obliterated Earth, right? Which he could do with like a Kamehameha wave, really. But like, I feel like Gojo's gonna find some way to survive. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't imagine it. Like, I do think there's characters that could be Gojo. Don't ask me who, but yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I don't know, man. And it feels blasphemous to even say that anybody can beat Goku because like that's what he was kind of.
That's what
It was
built
created
for.
to be.
Yeah, like he's
S tier, top class.
yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, somebody in the comments gonna be like, "What are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
no, for sure, you know it.
I'm already expecting it, but it's something that I always think of, and I'm always like, damn, how are you supposed to? How do you even come close to doing
I
Right.
don't even know how you would. I don't know. I don't know how they would.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something I wouldn't even answer. I would just,
Yeah,
you know what?
Exactly.
I would sit back on this with it.
Let's talk about hip hop for a second. Do you think hip hop has gotten better as the years have gone by, or has it gotten worse? Do you appreciate older hip hop from the 90s or 2000s, or because it's natural for people as they age to say, "Oh, this new music sucks."
Yeah,
I mean, do you think that it's improved in lyrics or anything, in style or anything, or do you think it's going?
So I feel two ways about this. I
Yeah.
feel two ways. Like I got a lot of young cousins too, and they show me some stuff that I'm like you don't. They're like, please, I beg you, do not listen to this. It's bad for your brain.
Yeah,
It is your IQ will drop every time you listen to this. But I think there's a lot of dope artists out there too that's making some crazy. A lot of it is like blending genres and like stuff we never even dreamed of or would have like or stuff that people like Mos Def dreamed that hip hop would become. Shout out to Kenny Mason. Shout out to Deontay Hitchcock. Like it's like some people doing some really dope stuff in hip hop that we can't ignore. But so I feel like it's harder to cling to that stuff because of algorithms and things like that. And like I use YouTube Music, but like I can pull up that, or you can pull up Spotify and your Explorer or like what's new page like don't even show none of that stuff.
yeah,
You know, so it's like it's harder to find, and then when you do find it, it's harder to actually live with it because something new just came out. And so I feel like we don't have the same relationship with music or with consumption that we used to have. And because of that, nothing's going to feel timeless.
Right.
You know, like it's rare when you do find something that is like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going back to this.
Absolutely.
So I think there's just as much trash as there used to be back in the day.
yeah.
But I do think that the trash has more gravity now than it used to.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
So, what you said earlier about the algorithm was a very good point, and it got me thinking about the way that people used to promote their music back then versus now.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I would consider, getting your music out there, you're almost wrestling with the algorithm. That's kind of the way that it works now. Whereas back then, you sort of had to put yourself out there in a situation where you could be found. And as somebody who makes music now, but also knows the process back then, what process do you think you'd rather be a part of? Do you think you'd rather be making, like, if you were to given the opportunity, I'd like to go back to the 90s and I'd like to make music in that era, or would you rather stay here and wrestle with the algorithm? What do you think is better?
Honestly, I'd rather stay here because I'm not selling the CDs out my trunk. I don't like being outside.
I don't think I could do it.
I can't
If
do
we
that.
didn't have this technology, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah,
I don't think I would.
yeah.
My talent, just me, respectfully for myself, I don't think my talent's good enough to carry me all the way. And it's
Okay.
like I'm a talented person, but I also think that the technology in that I have and the access to be able to create is what allows me to improve on my talent a little.
Heard.
Because I wasn't singing since I was a kid, so I'm not a natural singer. I've had to teach myself how to teach, and so it's like as my talent gets better, I have the technology to help me still be able to showcase what I can show. And so it's like back then, without this technology, I feel like if I were to try to sing or rap for anybody, they would just tell me it sucked. But because I'm able to, I know how to sound engineer and make myself sound good.
Right.
I can get my idea still out there,
Right,
even if
right.
what I'm laying down is not pitch perfect or there's some faults. And like we mentioned before, singing and stuff. I feel like simple as it, autotune does help me on certain
sure,
singing
for
parts,
sure.
and you can be subtle and stuff. But without that, on certain songs, I wouldn't be able to do that song.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like it was definitely hard. Pros and cons to each era,
Right.
But yeah, just who I am as a person, especially being so like introverted. Yeah, I'll take today.
And to kind of follow up with that too, I also did one. Now that we got your answer, do you feel that music and the way, do you feel like it's maybe like a little bit less special maybe now that everybody has access to it, or do you think that it's even more special because now we're able to see what more people that we weren't able to originally see before? Like how you said, there would be people out there. So, like we know about the stars today who got big doing that, but think of all the thousands of other people
Right.
who were doing that and then they just faded out of existence, and no one will ever see their name. But compared
Right.
to nowadays, where there's an online record of that person forever.
Yeah. You said
So do you think that it's more special, less special?
You said we know about the stars today. My mind went like to actual stars, but like, yeah, like there's kids that have never seen like a sky that's not polluted by light, and able to remember what the stars looked like.
Yeah.
So, I think it's kind of the same. It's like I feel like the older you are now, the kind of more, and the older you get, I think even the young kids today, as they get older, will learn to appreciate it more. But we have more of an appreciation for things like that, versus some of the younger kids and generations and things like that. So I feel like it's like, I don't think the Mona Lisa is any less special sitting in the Louvre than it was in Da Vinci Studio, but how many people are gonna go see it? You know what I mean? It's the Mona Lisa, so a lot of people going to see it, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a matter of whether or not something is more or less special, but it's just like, man, the level of appreciation that people have, like nobody, like art literacy is at its lowest that has ever been, I think.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's unfortunately also the creator, or not the creators, but just the consumer world that we live in. And we don't have, it's not our job to decide what it is that is good and what it is that's not. It's the audience, it's the people. And sometimes that's why art is overshadowed. That's why some of the worst music gets brought to the top, because there's tons of kids that are 12 years old that got a phone, and if they're making the dumbest songs go viral just because. And so unfortunately it's that's the uncontrollable, something we can't control. So we have to learn to navigate through that.
Right. Even back to Jujutsu Kaisen, like people be like, yo, it's just fights, man. Like, all right, come on, dog. I can't talk to you. I'm not gonna talk to somebody that don't have
dog.
media literacy to understand. You just don't want to read.
It goes way deeper than that. What people can perceive on the surface is so different than what can actually be there if you actually take a second to really look deep inside. Where, like you just said, somebody can look at that and be like, oh, well, it's about fights. Now, what I actually see is a young kid who's struggling to find a purpose, who finds a purpose and decides to become the best at it.
Yeah.
And that is something that everybody can resonate with.
Indeed.
Not just regardless of whatever profession is you're doing, whether you're a music artist or you're a movie actor, or even as something as simple of, oh, I go and I work at construction. Like, you can apply that to everything. You
For
can
sure.
be the best builder out there.
Yeah.
You know? And that should be what everybody strives for.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that.
I want to get into one of our news segments now. And so we did it last week for the first time, and it's called Leave the Light On.
Okay.
And so I'm going to give you even a minute or two. There's no rush. But on that card right there on that desk, the whole point of it is like this room. Think about it. And so next week we're going to have another artist in here. Or we're actually going to have a couple artists tomorrow. But
Dope.
theoretically, we're going to have another artist here, and they're going to be posted every week. And so the whole point is sending a message to that next person. And it can be a question. It can be words of encouragement. It can be something that you did wrong that you'd like for them to look out to. And so it could be one word. It could be a sentence. It could be two sentences.
Okay.
And so I would love for you, if you don't mind, just taking the time right there. And I got a pen for you, writing it down. And then after that, we're going to read the one that Mr. Tito Strange, who was what we had last, and what he said to you. And I'd love for you to be able to answer and just maybe resonate with what he said.
Cool.
But yeah, just take a couple minutes, no rush at all, and just anything you'd like to say to the next artist that's going to be sitting in that chair. Heck yeah. All right. Now, just do me a favor and go ahead and read what Mr. Tito Strange left for you.
Okay. All right, so we got 2 questions now. How are you gonna make a scene locally? Go ahead, read the other one.
Yeah, go ahead and read them
How
both.
do you plan to make an impact right now?
You have an answer to that, or what does those mean to you?
It's a good
Anything?
question. Good questions. How are you gonna make a scene locally? That is something I think about, especially as a business owner.
Yeah.
Right now, my business is based out of Frisco, Texas, and there's a lot going on in Frisco. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that I would want to be involved with. There's a lot of wealth there that I'm trying to get my hands on. So I think just it's all about who you know, and so I just want to, I'm the best me that anybody could be. So I'm gonna just keep being me and keep making connections and with genuine people that I could never be the type of person who links up with somebody that I don't really resonate with.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only reason I'm here is because I saw the videos you were posting and things like that, and I was like, man, they building something positive. They building something dope. They have organization,
Thank you. Yeah.
things like that. So it's like, as I meet more people that I resonate with and things like that, hopefully I can just go into that second question, just make an impact positively in those people's lives in a way that resonates with them, and I want people to be like, you gotta know AP, you gotta meet AP real quick. So that's it, man, and just keep giving my truth, whatever truth I find in those dark studio sessions, and or struggling to write scenes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's the big thing for us, is just really reaching out to people around us and trying to gauge their influence on how they see the scene, and kind of pick their mind to see where they're at. And I think that's something that we all need in Texas. So we can create this powerhouse. We can create the Texas powerhouse that we need. So I think that's really good that you said that.
Absolutely.
I see Texas and even the DFW area as like the next New York and LA in the next 10 to 15 years. I've always seen that for the last 10 years, and so
I agree.
that's just my idea, but it's like we're the next big metroplex. Everyone's moving to Texas. I don't know if you
Absolutely.
looked at the facts, but everyone's moving to Texas right now.
Right.
And so what you wrote on the card, we are going to keep a secret until the next episode. But that was for the artist that's going to be sitting in that chair next.
Okay.
Is there anything you have to say to any artists watching right now, or maybe even the audience? Once again, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like for them to take away from you?
Man, as cliche as it sounds, just keep going.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why we do
keep
this.
going, and just do your best to surround yourself with people that are going to tell you the same. For anyone who is, building something, especially with other people, honesty is the key. I would say, there's brutal honesty, right? There's kind of self-interested, but there's a version of that is in the interest of everyone. And I would say, do your best to figure out how to share that with each other, and just keep the main thing, right? Eyes on the mission, and that's it. And the times that you feel lost is like knowing what the mission is, until that muscle memory is built up to where you wake up and you don't even have to think about it. Like, it's like, just wake up and grind. I just figure out what the mission is and cling to that. Yeah.
Heard. Now, before we start coming to a close, Mr. Adrian, I'd love to give you a chance to shout out anybody. I know you've mentioned the Zone. I know you've mentioned a couple people you've worked with.
Yeah.
Anybody in your life that's meant something to you, or maybe has been a part of your creative process, or just your personal journey.
Man, okay, it's a lot of people.
Take your time.
Shout out to Desmond Walker. He's from Fort Worth, R&B artist, super dope. Check him out on all platforms. Shout out to Young Bake. He's on all platforms as well. Shout to Zone, as I already have, one of the dopest producers coming out of DFW. Shout to Trey Lino. He's doing his entrepreneurial thing right now, but he has music out as well. J Visuals, aka Film God Media. He's another dope cinematographer. Yeah, man, there's a lot of people coming out of our little set, you know, our little group that's doing some dope things. So hopefully the world will know soon enough.
And what's that group again? What are some of the creatives you're a part of? I'd love for us to hear it one more time.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, we're not as active anymore as a collective, but you know, we still, you know, Rebellious Society for life. So Rebellious Society, Karma Gang as well. And then, of course, my business, Revolution Media. If anyone needs photography, video production, or brand strategy, feel free to hit me up on that. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, Mr. Adrian, first and foremost, once again, we just want to say thank you. We appreciate you coming here. We appreciate you telling us just a little bit of your story. And the whole point of this, like we've said before, is to document people's stories in the process, because your story matters before the numbers do. And a lot of people overlook that. And the biggest thing is that, you know, success is different for everybody, and it could mean a lot of different things. And for us, we just want to show people who are trying creatively, who are putting an effort in, who are doing something that doesn't really give them a promise, and hopefully coming back in 6 months, in a year, maybe seeing where you're at, and it gives people a chance to kind of see where you're at this time. And once again, I mean, you as an artist will be able to come back and hopefully reflect on it and have a different perspective of this conversation we're having right now.
Sounds great.
So I just want to circle this all back around with the same way we started, which was, in one word, we asked you why you made music, and you said,
truth.
Truth. Take that with you, world. Learn your truth. Find your truth. Search for it. And don't give up too soon. Don't let the world decide for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sir Adrian Peace. We appreciate you. And thank you guys for tuning in to Original Minds, an Intrisio podcast. This has been another week of our Artist Spotlight series, where we shine the spotlight on local artists in our area, people in the process of becoming who they are. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next week. Boom.